But we're just going to have a little bit of fun tonight for our first Wise Women Who Build Mamathon featurette, so to speak. You all know she's one of my business besties. She resides in Memphis, Tennessee. And I'm about to go ahead and bring her on camera. There we go. Add on the way. Hi, Cassandra. Welcome, everyone. One of the things that we want to start doing is featuring the Mamathoners and shining a light on awesome women in our community. Hi, Tammie. We did it. None of these buttons were on the Facebook page. Not a single one was on the Facebook page. No arrows,
right?
No people, nothing was on the Facebook page. So, but the bottom line is we did
At all.
At all. There was nothing at all. Hey, Charlotte. Yeah, so we're just here having a late night chat. I told the other ladies that my husband is helping to facilitate some kind of pastory class thing with some preachers, and I was like, well, might as well have some fun and shine a light on one of my favorite Mamathon ladies.
He won't be back for a while.
Yeah, in the place where he went is like an hour and a half away. So I was like, well, I'll see you when I see you. You call me when you're on the way back. Welcome, Tammie.
Right.
We finally did it.
Hey.
I'm so excited.
I
know, right? Well, thank you so much for taking time.
Don't start dancing. Lord have mercy.
I know, right? Okay, so Tammie, people kind of know you, but will you please tell them your name and who you are, and what you would like to share about yourself?
Well, my name is Tammie. I am a married homeschooling mother of 3 heads of hair from Memphis, Tennessee. Our girls are 14, 10, and 5. Pray for me. I do a lot, but my major claim to fame, and Christina rolls her eyes at me every time I say this. I have a writing addiction, if you will. My goal and my joy is to use both the spoken and the written word to inspire, encourage, uplift, and equip women to eliminate excuses and excel in life and business. I am the very proud, here comes Christina's next eye roll, y'all. Very proud author of 22 and a half books on life, faith, family, and business written over the last 3 years. Christina tells me daily that I get on her nerves. That is part of my mission in life. Jesus told me to do it, so she gonna be okay. But aside from my obvious writing addiction, I enjoy making and playing board games, computers, working with kids, annoying kids, especially mine, and a whole bunch of other good stuff that we really don't have time to get into. So,
Right. That's so funny. Well, we're glad that you're here.
and I'm a business coach and mentor as well. So
yes, I was hoping we were going to get to that part.
yeah.
So I tend to, like we all should draw towards women who inspire us, who mirror our thirst and our drive for, and to be ambitious and to really build ourselves. And so I want you to talk a little bit more about your business hustle side. We know that you are an author coach and that you do above and beyond when it comes to writing, the written and spoken word. But would you elaborate a little bit more on the Virtuous Business Woman?
Okay, the Virtuous Business Woman was birthed out of a Facebook conversation in a group of homeschool moms.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a thread. Everybody asked this at least 17 times a year. What do you guys do for extra money? And at that time, I was actively running my homeschool consulting business, and I began to share with the ladies about how I got started with that. And the next thing I know, I had like 25 Facebook friend requests come at me because everybody wanted to know how they could use their background to do what I do in their area.
Mm-hmm.
So that is kind of where things started with that. The writing bug bit me about 2 weeks after that happened. My first book, From One King's Daughter to Another, Understanding Your Value, was actually a collection of journal entries that I wrote after watching Dr. Phil every day for 2 weeks straight, which I do not recommend. and and so it wasn't until I actually wrote the Virtuous Business Woman inspired by Proverbs 31 that I really figured out what it was that I was meant to do. I One thing that I have discovered in business is that it is possible to be your own ideal client. You can create something awesome that makes an impact of the lives of people simply by meeting a need that you have within yourself that you can't find.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the Virtuous Businesswoman inspired by Proverbs 31 came from. I was looking to do something with Proverbs 31 from a business standpoint because everybody keeps her in the marriage and family box, the
Very
one with the
true.
wedding bells and the baby shoes.
Very true.
And I grabbed a 5 subject notebook. My family got scared because they were like, "Oh Lord, what are you about to do to the Word of God?" And I was looking for something that addressed Proverbs 31 from a business standpoint, and no matter how many hours I spent on the Google, I could not find it. So the Spirit
Mm.
said, "Guess what?
You can do it.
You can't find it, so I'm gonna tell you what to do."
Yes.
So I took to my notebook. I wrote down um 19. I'm going to be honest. I wrote down 19 of the verses. I was going to leave out the husband verses because I did not want a single or divorced woman to not read my book because I included the
Mm.
husband stuff in
Yeah.
there. And so when I finished, God says, "You forgot something." I know I didn't. He said, "Yeah, you did. You left out 2 verses." I said, "Okay, Jesus, if you want them 2 verses in there, you gonna have to tell me what." He said, "I've been telling you what to say the whole time, girl. Look, write that down." So after I wrote that book, that was when the scope of my mind changed as far as my business because I had spent so much time trying to mirror everybody else and following everybody else's blueprint.
Mm-hmm.
And confirmation came from another friend in the coaching industry who lives in freaking New Jersey, and she's on my reading team. And she says to me, she says, "Tammie, what else are you going to do with this?" She says, "You need to be doing lunch and learns." She's like, "You need to be doing workshops. People need to see this."
Yeah.
So I said, "Okay, I'm going to do it." So I called a friend who worked in management consulting. And so I told her what was going on, and she said, "Great, here is a list of places that you should contact, and let me know how it goes." I like worked out this whole financial agreement with her where, if one of the things on her list came through, she got 40%, and just working it out. She agreed to that. Every last church and organization on that list said no.
Mm-hmm.
Every last one.
Wow.
So I didn't let that discourage me. I started reaching out to friends on Facebook, and I'm like, look, I'm looking for 5 churches or businesses. I will come in for free. I will even give you the books for free. I just want to come in and present. Had one to get back to me. I got one yes out of that bunch. And I said, you know what? If this is going to happen, I'm going to have to put it out there on my own.
Yeah.
So I was talking to my mentor, sister friend, coach, Tamika, out of Atlanta. And she says to me, she says, does your library give rooms for free to nonprofits? And I says, well, I never really looked into that, found out that they did. And so she helped me get a 90-person conference room. No, well, it was more like a 30, somewhere around there, conference room. And I had to make the event free. There was no problem about, I had no qualms with that. Had 30 ladies to sign up. I was excited. I took $40 and went to Sam's and bought muffins, fruit, and juice. And my stepmother was there with me, helping me, and she says, Tammie, you don't have any coffee. So she ran down to the Krispy Kreme down the street and bought a brew box of coffee.
Wow.
And all that other stuff. And I put my oldest daughter on sign in, so she's standing at the door with clipboard, going, what's your name? I'm glad to have you. I had my product table by the door and everything. I was giving away chapter excerpts. So if you picked an envelope numbered between 1 and 21, that was the chapter of the book that you got. Of course, with a shameless plug in there. Like, if you like this, go on Amazon and get a book.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
So out of the 30 women that registered, only 7 showed up. But you know what? I acted like all 30 were in the room.
Yeah. And that's really how you have to
bore
do.
Right, it really is. I bore my heart. It was kind of a teaser, a workshop, because a month later, I held a full-scale expo. I went to a hotel. I served lunch. I had vendors, and I did the same presentation, but I slowed it down a bit. I had the book there, for people to purchase, and it was absolutely wonderful because, well, not just because it was me and I felt fulfilled and all that other good stuff, but my vendors tripled their money.
That's awesome.
Simply because with the way that this hotel was built, the hotel is built in a circle. And so the event room that I was in was dead smack in the middle of the hotel, so it could be seen from anywhere. So we got people yelling from the rafters, "Hey, what's that?" And hotel staff was coming through and things like that. And then there was realized that I was really in my element.
Yeah.
So that spurred me to keep going and to really continue to write.
Yeah.
And one thing we have to understand is when you find that that one thing and it starts to work well,
Mm.
just do it.
Yeah.
To date, I have hosted 12, I believe, of my own events since October 2016. I believe that's right. And it happened because I stayed true to what works.
Mm-hmm. I will
And
add also that, we were talking yesterday, the interview I did, talking about authenticity, and really,
oh yeah,
owning who you are. She was asking about, like, since the video stuff happened in 2016, how did things change for me? And I was like, well, I had a larger reach to other people, but I was still the same person because Mamathon came out of owning your truth, like who you are as a person and what you're chasing after. If
yes.
you're always chasing after what's true to you, then no matter whether it's big, whether it's small, whatever it is, it's going to be comfortable to you. And I can definitely see that, because everything about you stemmed from what was true to you and you actually feeling a need within yourself.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay, I have another
Yeah, and
question for you.
that is okay.
Okay, so,
Go ahead.
and I because I want to make sure I get to my questions. I'm doing good. Okay, so another question for you is, I know you're a very busy woman with your three girls. You homeschool. You have a business. I know you do some teaching on the side. What are three ways that you give me three 1 minute ways that you dominate your schedule?
One, I use my nights.
I'm getting
Two,
there.
what Christina will tell you,
Nice to be
I
silent.
sleep from midnight to 5 a.m.
Yeah,
Um, just so one, I use my night. Two, I use my family.
that's right.
If y'all know, if anybody on here knows anything about me, I am the poster child for using using your family.
Hmm.
Um, and the third thing that I would say is that I'm never without a notebook.
Hmm.
Um, big, small, because you just never know. Ideas for just life, ideas for your home can come at you at any time. So, because how many times have you been out and you saw something awesome or you heard something awesome
You were
and you're like, I
inspired.
need to write this down. I need to write this down before I forget it, and you reach in your purse and you ain't got nothing. You ain't
Nothing.
got a piece of mail. You ain't got a crayon.
Yeah.
The one time that you clean out your purse is when the epiphany comes and you're mad because you couldn't write it down.
Yeah.
So those are three things that I do to dominate my schedule. I
Hmm.
use my nights, I use my family, and I'm never without a notebook.
I really love that, and I'm learning how to use my nights. I haven't always been this way. It used to be at one time by 9 o'clock I was done, but now I'm learning more and
Done.
more. Even if the baby's still up or whatever it is that's going on, that I can, use my hours better in a better way. If I know I'm going to be tired at night, a tip for those watching is to actually, maybe wake up a little bit earlier, not necessarily take that stress-free downtime during the course of the day and apply it to, hey, 9 p.m. comes around or 8 p.m. comes around, I'm finished with everything that I need to get done today. I'm done. And using your nights or using those spare moments when things are quiet can mean everything.
That is very true.
Yes. Okay, so what would you say? Give me two things that you think most women struggle with when it comes to their time and priority management.
There's really only one,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the inability to say no.
Mm-hmm.
That is a woman's biggest issue with time and priority management.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, especially if you are a helper drone like me, Christina will tell you, I hate for anybody that I know and love to do anything. And if I can do something about it,
You're raising
you
your
can get
hand.
mad
Raising your
at
hand.
me. I don't care. I don't care if you get mad at me. You can kick rocks. I'm going to help
Yeah.
you. But the inability to say no is the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm.
We fall for the puppy dog eyes of our kids.
Yeah.
Our husband smiles at us and we're like, okay. Or
Okay.
that friend comes along and you got something to do.
Mm-mm-mm.
And then she's like, sis, and you like, Jesus. And she's like, I really,
I really
really
need
need
your
you. I know you're
help.
busy. And then she start crying, and then you want to kill whoever did it because she crying.
Yeah.
So I give you a prime example. Had a lady in one of my workshops. And no, when I do my Slayers workshop, everybody always asks me to go back to time.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, Tammie, I am so tired
Mm.
and I don't understand why.
Mm.
So I sat there and I listened to her, and she has a team of like 25 people working under her.
Mm-hmm.
And as she began to, just flesh everything out, and I told her, I said, when was the last time you told them no? And she says she couldn't think about it.
Yeah.
So the next time I saw her after she came to another workshop that I had, and she says, Tammie, I gotta tell you what happened. I said, what's up, girl? I'm listening. And she said, one of my teammates called me. They needed something, and I told them that I couldn't help because I was in a meeting.
Mm.
She says, but the thing was, the whole time I was sitting in that meeting, I was worried about what they need. I was wondering if they got what they needed. It was really bothering me. I couldn't focus,
Mm.
and so she called after she got out of her meeting, and they said, oh, I'm good. I was able to call tech
Somebody else.
support and get my problem solved. And she was sitting there like, dang, all I had to do was tell you I was in a meeting.
Yeah.
So one of the affirmations that I use when I coach, I tell ladies, I'm like, repeat after me. I have the right to say no
Mm-hmm.
so that I can invest my time, money, talents, and resources into something for myself.
Yes, and I'll tell you, that's a clip that's in the ebook anyway. It's talking about is actually has like a little paragraph that you can read or type in a Facebook message to all those wonderful friends that want to sign you up for everything. And right now you're trying to keep your head on straight and stay in your lane and work your project without feeling like you have to go and you want to support, but you can't always dive into everyone else's venture just because they invite you to the venture. You can't always do that. For example, if she's still watching Tish, she sells paparazzi. But maybe you're unable to you have a phone, a flip phone. You can't go live to sell jewelry. And you and you can't, you have 17
Right.
kids, so you can't go to no vendor shows. So that that's not the calling for you per se. So sometimes we dive into certain ventures and things, and that that's not for you. That that's not something that you operate in, that's your gift. And we just struggle so much with turning someone down because maybe we don't necessarily know what our niche is. And because we don't know what it is,
Right.
we may get pulled to and fro by every way the wind blows.
Carried about with every
Carried
wind of
about with
doctrine.
every wind. Okay. So before we get to sign off this evening, I wanted to ask, first off, do you have any final words for the mamathoners? And where can they find you on Facebook? As if they don't know, but just in case. As if they don't know you.
Final word to the mamathoners is this. Realize that everybody's blueprint is not yours.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something that I say all the time. Some of the ladies who were at the retreat last year, like, Lord, if she say this one more time. But just because you see somebody who does what you do,
That's right.
does not mean that they do what you do.
That's
They don't
right.
have your skill, drive, knacks, affinities, passions, connections, resources, whatever you want to fill that blank with.
Yes.
You have something rare and precious to offer, even in the wake of real or perceived competition. And at
Yes.
the end of the day, as long as God and your significant other stand with you, everybody else can
Mm-hmm.
have a whole stadium of seats.
A whole stadium of seats. Yes. A
Whole stadium.
whole
Take
stadium. We're
them to
taking
your
a whole
local
galaxy
sports
of seats.
stadium and be like, all these seats are for you. Pick one.
All of them.
So to find me online, Lord, okay.
Please pick
My
one.
two
One place they can find you on the internet. Just one place.
one place would be my Facebook page, Tammie Terrell, mompreneur, coaching. If you are an avid reader as much as
Mhm.
I write, you can find me on Amazon. First name Tammie, Tammie, last name Polk, Polk. There are two Tammie Polks listed on Amazon, one with the middle initial of M, one with the middle initial of E. I am the T. Well, it's going to be real evident real quick, but I just put that caveat out there.
Right.
Oh, one more thing to say
Yes.
to the mamathoners. Come to the retreat.
So exciting.
Come to the fruition retreat.
Yes, and we
Yes.
will be so happy to see all of you. I know Jessica is attending, I believe, and a whole bunch of other ladies. Tish is going to be there. Krista's coming. But what we really want to remind everyone who's going to watch tonight or some other night is that there is a mission for each one of us, and there is a line of purpose that you're supposed to be operating in. You should not be wandering to and fro, like we said, blown about every which way because you really aren't sure about your direction. There are too many amazing women in our community, Tammie and myself, that we love to see women walking out their purpose, ridding themselves of frustration and
Yes.
operating in fruition. And God demands that of us. We are so fabulous. We are so divalistic, right? That we're supposed
Yes.
to be dazzling. We're supposed to be inspirational. We are made to be virtuous, and we are also driven to be ambitious as well. And so if you are, not operating in that fullness, then it's a good time for you to take that personal, take your own personal role, sit down with that pad, like Tammie said, and start to work out some kinks and figure out some things, because God is pushing for us to manifest some stuff in this year, this month, this week, today, even tonight. It's not too late for you to see a manifestation of something that God wants to teach you if you ask Him to show you. Okay.
Amen.
Tammie, thank you so much for being here. I love you. We talk like every day.
You are
But
most
I thank you for
welcome.
shining your light
Yes.
for the rest of the ladies who are tuning in now, and in the future. This video is just one of several that are on the way to be uploaded to our membership program that's launching on May 1st. And the entire intention is to surround the Mamathon community with access to women and courses and training that is going to benefit them. So I thank you, Tammie, so much for being my first. And we're going to keep on plugging forward. Yay.
Alrighty, my friend. You know I'm always here when you need me.
I know you are. Good night, everyone. I'm probably going to zip back over to the regular Facebook page to funnel people in who are not in the group. But we love you guys so much, and good night.
Good night, ladies.